application to go on to your city council. And so we do have we also wanted to mention that Assistant City Attorney Scott Micchio submitted to Trenton City Council an update on the cannabis, what we've done so far, the 10 retail applications that are in line right now. And we are still accepting, of course, other applications for other types of businesses here in the city. But from Theory Wellness, we have Nick Freeman and two of their representatives, Bo Hutch and Lynn Nowak.
Good evening. I would first like to thank the entire council for your time this evening and the opportunity to present on our company and our proposal here in Trenton. My name is Nick Friedman. I'm co-founder and chief strategy officer of Theory. In this presentation, I'll spend a few minutes talking first about the background and experience of our company before turning to our proposed location here in Trenton and why we are an excellent candidate for recreational sales. I co-founded Theory in 2015 after my father became paralyzed and was using medical cannabis to relieve nerve pain. Theory then opened some of the first medical cannabis dispensaries on the East Coast, providing access to patients who had no alternatives. Today, we have become one of the largest and—
Point of order. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
Can we all just be seated so that we can pay attention to the presentation that's taking place right now? He gets 10 minutes to talk.
No problem. So today we have become one of the largest and most experienced cannabis operators in the country, with over 20 licenses across Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, New Jersey, and Ohio, including retail, cultivation, delivery, wholesale, and manufacturing. Theory has about 300 employees and an executive team with decades of senior leadership experience. Over the years, we have built a reputation around retail excellence, notably the quality of our customer care and our operational compliance. We have served over 3 million customers to date without incident and have maintained a customer satisfaction score in the 99th percentile. We have an equally strong back of house. We have a finance team led by our CFO to support our audited financials, an HR department to ensure labor law adherence, and a compliance team of 6 to ensure inventory control and regulatory compliance at all levels. We have been described by our regulators as a constant leader in the industry, operating on a principle of integrity, honesty, and always in compliance with the regulatory structure. We have maintained an outstanding record in terms of safety and security as well, with support from our local police chiefs stating that they would recommend our operational team as a model for others to follow. We have also made it a priority at our company to give back to our communities and to our team members. Theory has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to over 45 nonprofits. We have volunteered, held food drives, clothing drives, and sponsored educational series on the responsible use of marijuana. We offer tiered pricing to those with financial hardship and provide 40% off to veterans. Additionally, Theory developed a first-of-its-kind social equity program, which led to the opening of the first Black woman-owned dispensary on the East Coast, called Legal Greens in Brockton, Massachusetts. Lastly, Theory makes it a priority to be an employee-first organization. We have gone above the norm to invest in our employees. We offer competitive wages, a full benefit package, free educational programming, and we're one of the first companies in cannabis to offer a 401k plan for retirement. Most recently, in Massachusetts, we decided to transition full ownership of our company to our employees. As of December, we became 100% employee-owned, making Theory a first of its kind in the cannabis industry. Investing in our communities and supporting our employees are fundamental principles here at Theory. It is who we are, it is our DNA, and we plan to continue doing so here in Trenton. So moving to our proposal for operations here. Theory is a unique candidate tonight, as we already hold a medical marijuana license and are just weeks away from opening our dispensary at 461 New York Ave. We are therefore what is known to the city as an expanded ATC, Alternative Treatment Center, and are looking merely to add recreational sales to our already existing dispensary footprint. For years, we have been developing this site and have invested over $1.5 million so far into site improvements and beautification. In the handout that was passed around, there's a few before and after photos. Our location has several characteristics that make it an ideal location for a dispensary. First, it's a standalone building. A standalone location makes for more seamless operations by reducing chances of nuisance and enhancing our security presence. Second, it's discreetly located but easy to access. And third, it has ample parking. This is particularly important to reduce congestion or any other traffic-related concerns. In fact, we conducted a traffic study to be thorough, which concluded that our site would have minimal impact on road conditions. As a business, should we be approved, we are committed to supporting Trenton and investing into this community in several ways. First, through direct financial contributions to local nonprofits. We have pledged to donate a minimum of $25,000 per year to drug and alcohol abuse prevention centers alone. We plan to begin with Catholic Charities and the Mercer Council on Alcoholism and Drug Addiction. We also plan to sponsor and work with additional nonprofits throughout the city, such as I Am Trenton. Second, as employers, we will be bringing well-paid jobs with benefits to the area. We are committed to hiring locally and plan for over a dozen hires right off the bat. We have developed a staffing plan in conjunction with the NAACP to ensure that we hire a diverse and inclusive workforce with demographic representation reflective of Trenton's population. Moreover, having already joined the New Jersey Hispanic, the New Jersey Minority, and the African American Chamber of Commerce's here locally, we plan to work with these leaders to host job fairs and socialize our hiring. Third, through opening a successful and secure dispensary, our presence here will bring economic stimulus to the area through tourism, dollars spent at local businesses, and site beautification. Lastly, our staff will include a director of community relations, which is our commitment to the city, and reports directly to the CEO. Their sole job is to build and maintain strong community relationships and look for further opportunities to support Trenton. In summary, I believe Theory to be a fantastic candidate. We have unparalleled experience operating high-traffic dispensaries in secure, compliant, and professional manner. We are a premier brand known for our excellence in customer care and hospitality, having served over 3 million customers. And our chosen location here in Trenton is ideal for this type of use, being discreet, standalone, and with ample parking. And lastly, we are committed to being a responsible employer and supportive partner to the community of Trenton. Thank you all for your time, and I'll open it up for any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions at this time?
Madam President.
Councilwoman?
So one excellent presentation. Thank you. You seem to have covered a lot of bases in your presentation. There are just a couple things that I did want to get clarity on one, which was you said that you offer 401k to your management. Your presentation says to your employees as well. So is it just restricted to management, or is it to all employees?
To every single employee.
Excellent. And then the other question that I have is you donate a minimum of 25K annually to drug and alcohol abuse prevention organizations, and you support annual nonprofits. I see a couple of them listed on here. Are you restricted to those? Are you open to other ones? Or these are the only ones that you plan on working with?
No, we aren't restricted to those, and we certainly look to expand that program. That is our year one starting plan, and the 25,000 is our floor commitment.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone have questions? Right, Councilwoman
Thank you
Williams?
very much. So I have a couple questions. So we are familiar with your operation, and as a Northwood councilperson, I'm very glad actually to see you locate on New York Avenue. It's a pretty desolate part of the Northwood in the city, and taking up a building that's not been utilized for quite a long time. So as far as the wages that you'll be paying, hourly wages, what are those looking like? What's the minimum? What would be the maximum maybe after a first year of operation and employment?
Sure. The absolute entry level wage for us is $18 to start. That has a 6-month raise right after, and then it goes up from there.
And then as far as recruiting employees, what's the plan for that?
So one avenue is through chambers. We are communicating with them already to host job fairs and disseminate information that way. But moreover, we're going to be posting bulletins. We're going to use digital and use essentially every means that we can to get information out. And if there is other suggestions that you may have, we'd be open to them as well.
Okay, I would like to actually make a suggestion, the Young Professionals Network that Councilwoman Edwards is one of the leaders of. So you might want to chat with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's a pretty vast network there. As far as maintaining the property and the grounds, legally, we can't require a business to maintain all the frontage near them. But do you already have a plan, or would you consider a plan to help maintain the cleanliness on New York Avenue and your little bit of it?
I mean, certainly that's the business we do keep just as a manner of, who we are as a company. We, cleanliness and, providing like an upscale environment at our facility is what is seen anywhere you go at a Theory location, and certainly our intention in Trenton. We do have a plan for landscaping and maintaining landscaping in a beautiful way.
And as far as the security plan, can you kind of verbalize what that's going to look like going from medicinal to recreational?
Yeah, absolutely. The security plan actually is the same for medical and recreational for the most part. It's a 365 coverage. Everywhere that you're inside the building or surrounding the premises, you're going to be under video surveillance, and there's an alarm system and panic buttons within the facility. We do have a security presence there as well. And we find that this combination of both digital, like technological security, but also a physical presence makes for the right combination.
And as far as that security plan, has it already been reviewed by the Trenton Police Department in total, or will that happen before you open?
I believe we haven't, that certainly will happen before we open. I don't recall, because it's been such an elongated time frame of us going through the medical process, whether we have submitted a plan and had that review yet, but I certainly will, before we open our doors, plan to sit down and have that review again. I know that, from the state's perspective, the state does highly regulate how your security plan looks, and we've certainly are working, have gone through, met all that requirement. And our state regulators come in for inspections prior to us being able to open to ensure that our security is up to that standard as well.
Okay. I think that is actually all my questions, because you've answered, some before. Just want to say, I know this has not been an easy process, and I'm glad to see that you have stepped in with it as we've worked everything out, made the ordinance better here in Trenton and so forth. So, wish you best success and good luck with this. And we definitely want to see you succeed.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Williams.
Any other council people?
Council President.
Councilwoman Edwards?
Thank you. I don't have any questions, just more of a statement. I just want to comment on your presentation in that area. It's a great presentation. I love it. I love what you're doing with the building over there. That area over there needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of, tender loving care. TerraCycle has been doing their thing in the area, but it is like a very underdeveloped area back there that could use some beautification. So I'm glad to see the renderings of this, and I'm hoping that you bring some life to the area. And good luck.
Thank you, Councilwoman Edwards.
You're welcome.
Any other council? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam President, looks like I'm sorry, Mr. Wolski. Okay. Madam President, it looks like we've reached the point of public comment. If it's your wish, then we can go forth with public comment. If we could have the clipboard, please.
Yes, thank you.
And so the public comment is for 5 minutes per person. Madam President, we have 4 individuals signed up for public comments this evening.
Thank you.
And to the public, just so you know, you are able to address anything that you wish during public comment. The council is not obligated to respond. Thank you. Our first individual listed is Cordelia Staten.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Long day. I'm Cordelia Staten, resident of 3 Gardner Avenue. Good evening, distinguished members of council. Good evening, distinguished members of council. It's good to be back here seeing all of you on the dais. Tonight I wanted to speak for docket number 80, 2480. So I just want to say to you, I know I sent a letter indicating my interest in serving on the Trenton Housing Authority, and I am glad that you considered my application and put me on the docket for appointment. I just want to say that the work that the Executive Director Jelani Garrett is doing is phenomenal. And that Choice Neighborhood Project, millions of dollars, is going to really turn the North Ward around in a big way. And I look to be a part of that and offer whatever assistance I can as a commissioner. Now, let me just be clear. This is just on docket items or a little bit of everything? Anything? Okay, good. There's more. I just want to say a few things about you guys because I keep up with you on Facebook. I'm not out too much anymore, but when I do get out, it's good to see you, but I really mostly keep up with you on Facebook. You have great interactive pages on Facebook, your social media, you're working it, and that's a good thing. To Jossie, to Councilwoman Edwards, I just wanted to say I'm glad that you are on the Cannabis Advisory Board. I know you have been an advocate for that particular business in the city, but also in a real responsible way. I know that your input and your active participation will bode well for the city as your organization. So congratulations on that. I wanted to speak to Councilwoman Williams on reenacting the North Ward CPAC. That CPACs have been in existence since we restructured public safety. And they were actually something that the residents wanted. They wanted to have a way to communicate with the men and women who were charged to protect and serve their community. And it kind of weighed off a little bit, and I'm glad to see it's back because you have to have strong communications with the police department if you want to see your neighborhoods become safer. And it is a two-way street. Communication is key. So glad you got that moving. And to Jennifer and to Councilwoman, it's getting me a minute to get you all. To Councilwoman Kittenberg Figueroa, I wanted to say, I read your Facebook post about the John Beach Park. John Beach Park is such a cute little thing in the South Ward, right? And it's a real good outlet for the residents there. It's a very small community, but they like their park. And I'm glad for the quick action you did over the weekend to get that tree debris up. I saw you got a lot of comments about it. And those are the kind of things, it ain't really what you think you have to do, but it is. You serve the people in whatever capacity, and you guys are really keeping it real. I like it all. I also like oh my Lord, Frisbee and Gonzalez for their community meetings as well. I think it's very good because, the last term, there wasn't that kind of interaction with the people, and I'm glad that you were out there and doing your thing. And for all the council people who are serving on the basketball team, that celebrity basketball team next week, what is it, the second? I'm going to be there. It was a shock to see y'all in jerseys. You in particular, Feliciana. I cannot wait to see you do what you do. So it's a good thing, right? It's a lot of fun. It's good that those kind of activities are coming back and the council is being a part of all of those good things. You're interacting with the community you serve, and that's the best thing you could ever do. I know I've gone over my 5 minutes. Thanks for being so gracious. Good night.
Stephen, thank you. Stephen Balducci, is that correct? Thank you. first, please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, Stephen Balducci, 265 Cummings Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey. Just want to discuss several ongoing issues of personal property damage that's going on in the intersection of Anderson and Cummings Avenue due to logistical routes that are making deliveries in 302 Cummings Avenue. Now, the main issue that we're having is that all the trucks that are making deliveries to this one place are 53-foot containers, which basically the container alone weighs 10,000 pounds. Unloaded container weighs about 36,000 pounds, and a loaded container can carry up an additional 47,000 pounds, which is running through the residential areas of this area. Now, to include myself, along with an event that happened last night that I had the pleasure to meet East Ward Councilman Joseph A. Harrison, we witnessed a 53-foot container trying to make a left turn and damaging one of my neighbor's vehicles, and about to leave because he didn't witness it. And we had to stop, and the police came and everything like that. But the main issue is the routes that are going to this 302 Cummings Avenue, which is owned by Curate Enterprises LLC, has been continuously ordering these types of vehicles, which is not legal to be driving through these residential areas. And for my car, my vehicle got damaged last year, around $4,600 of damage on my car. My girlfriend's car got damaged, and she was parked on the opposite side, vehicle making a right turn, slashing through her car. That's an additional $4,700 damage, along with several neighbors that also had their car damaged, but more in the hit and run. I was fortunate enough to have video evidence on my end so I can deal with the insurance. And I was fortunate enough to catch my girlfriend's damage because it happened to me. I saw the vehicle, I saw the damage, and the clear damage was shown on the driver's vehicle. So multiple companies are coming from long distances. So it is cheaper, obviously, to cut costs and do a giant load over distance, but it's not meant for residential entry to make deliveries this way. That's it. If anyone has any questions.
Council President,
Nope.
can I speak on this? Okay, thank you. Yes, got the pleasure of meeting Stephen last night. And not only did I see the pictures of the vehicles that have been hit, the police officers last night told the truck driver that this is not a commercial area, it's residential. And the tractor trailer was there this morning at 8 o'clock, and 2 box trucks were behind it. So they're literally blocking up one way, Cummings Avenue, and the people that live on there, Cummings Avenue, one of the ladies takes dialysis. So this is going to be becoming a huge problem. If you go in the back of the building, there's pallets piled up there. Look, it's your property, clean this up. This is an ongoing issue, not only with this and other properties that this person owns. So I'm going to keep documenting this. I'm going to keep submitting this. This is a problem that the community wants addressed, and it needs to stop, because you don't need to come out, have your car be pinned against the sidewalk. This beautiful truck that the guy had pinned against the sidewalk, and because of tractor trailer, there's no way you can make that turn. There's no way. So this is an ongoing issue, and the police have told them over and over that the tractor trailer is too big to make the turn. You're going to continually hit vehicles. So something needs to be done about this. I know the police have been saying something, but the neighbors are really getting frustrated about this. And there's other properties that this guy owns where I've reported before about garbage that's at his property. So until we continually address, and the old saying is fine, 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 until you fix the problem, the community is sick and tired of this. So I feel what he was saying last night, I seen it in his eyes, and the neighbors, they just want this addressed. Use a smaller truck, then you would be able to make the deliveries without hitting people's vehicles. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Madam President, just really quickly, I just want to, just real quick, if you don't mind. Okay. Mr. Balducci, thank you. I've actually addressed this several times. I have emails to prove it. I've actually gotten adverse reactions from the police about, whether or not the trucks are able to go down that street. Councilman Harrison, this is a street in an area that's neighboring both my district and your district. So if you wouldn't mind, if we could come together and work on this together so that hopefully we could get a better result moving forward, because I know that I have definitely addressed this several times as well. Mr. Balducci, you have not reached out to me directly, but some of your neighbors have.
Okay.
And I had that documentation, so thank you for bringing that to our attention.
No problem, ma'am.
All right, sir, that is all your time. Thank you. Diane Drayton.
Good evening, and my name is Diane Drayton, and I live 943 Melrose Avenue. And I came here to make some comments, and my comments are, I've been living at my residence for 25 and a half years, and I'm beginning to feel that the people who actually raise their families, live there, pay taxes. If I take an estimate of how much taxes I paid over the course of those years, I can approximately buy 3 cars. And I think when you retire or you get to a certain age, I think people need to pay their fair share of taxes. And I think when some people taxes are reduced and you live in a house that you have 2 floors, a finished attic, a basement that is not remodeled. Of course, I have central air. But if you have a house and if you have 3 floors and your 3rd floor is finished, if you have a garage, whether you're using that garage or not, and you have a driveway, why is it that your taxes is being reduced? And it seems like your taxes was before comparable to mine, and it's not just one person. So my comment is to this. Over the years, I've seen so many people who were living in my neighborhood when I moved there, and so many of them have lost their houses over taxes. Okay, one gentleman in particular is over 80 years old, had to work at Walmart to make ends meet, and he still had to sell his house. My other comment is this. The house that is next to me is 941 Melrose Avenue. This house is owned by a private company. The last people that moved out of this house moved out last year. This house was redone. Yet their taxes is cheaper than mine. The other thing is I reached out to this gentleman because this family has been a problem, an aggravating problem, about a fence that surrounds my property, that's on my property, paid by me. They were told nicely on many different occasions, do not put anything up against it. And they did everything in their power to aggravate me. Back a commercial lawnmower into the fence and damaged my fence. I reached out to the building inspector and I was told, okay, I came in with my pictures. On the second occasion, I talked to her. You have to have proof. My concern is I live in a house that been living there over 25 years. I don't need to have to keep telling the family that was in there or this family or any other family in the future, this is my property. I do not want it damaged, and I don't feel as though I should be aggravated behind it. And I just feel as though, I know that the city has to get their taxes and they put these houses up for sale, but I do not feel that I need to live in my house and be aggravated over something that is obviously belong to me. And those are my comments.
Leslie Wilbur, is that correct? Wilborn, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, again, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Leslie Wilborn, and I'm a resident of the North Ward, and that's 29 Hyle Avenue. First of all, I just want to just give you a little background of who I am. I grew up in the tri-state, mainly Yardley, Pennsylvania, across the bridge. But after I graduated high school, went into the military and moved back to PA, and then I decided to make my home here in New Jersey. I resided in New Jersey approximately, I guess, about 30 plus years. City of Trenton, maybe 20 years. And that's just a little background of, who I am and where I'm from. My son also, Robert Wilborn, he has a business here in Trenton along with his partner. So I do have a vested interest here in the city of Trenton, and I have a couple of issues. Namely, one issue is not directly on my street, but directly across the street from where I live, and that's 207 Ellis Avenue. And it's a house that's been vacant for, I would say, approximately about 8-9 years. And I do believe the owner may have passed away. I'm not quite sure. But the problem is it's been vacant and it's been undisturbed for quite some time. But recently, we're finding people, apparently they must be living in the house, going in and out of the house. And I also saw some police activity over there just recently today. So I just like to wonder what's going on with that property. And also, another issue is on our street, we have a lot of 2- and 3-bedroom houses, and a lot of those houses are rental houses. And the problem is we have a lot of families that move into these single-family houses, and they have like 4 or 5 families living in those houses. And that poses a problem in so many different ways. Namely, parking is an issue because everybody in that family seems to have a car. So you already have limited parking. So I'm just wondering if there's something that could be done with that. And also, before I go any further, I would like to thank Councilwoman Jennifer Williams for her tireless effort in helping to secure a one-way for our street. And we really appreciate that because and on behalf of all the residents on that street, I'm speaking on their behalf as well. And I'm sure they thank you for it because they've been trying for 40 years. And we've always been told, oh, it just can't be done because of the hospital. So I said to them, let me give it a try. I don't believe that. So I thank you for your tireless effort. And also, one other question, is there a rent stabilization board? I'd like to know if there is. And if there is, I think that if it's not active, it needs to be active because it's getting to be ridiculous, the rents that you're paying in the city of Trenton for some of these properties that are so run down, and it's just a disgrace. Also, I hear a lot of I think I was here last month for the council meeting, and I hear a lot of people came up and they were, trying to open up cannabis dispensaries. I have no issue with that, but I think that we are getting to the point where we're just having so many of these here dispensaries in our neighborhood. We're only 8-mile plus radius here in Trenton. So how many dispensaries are we going to have? And also, is there a limit to how many we're going to have in the city of Trenton? And also, these people that are opening up these dispensaries, are they residents of the city of Trenton? Are they going to be, I think that's very important. So if we have to deal with these dispensaries, I think they should probably be, at least half of them should be residents of this Trenton, of the city of Trenton. And I know there's a lot of legal dispensaries that are operating. So I guess if we can get some of the illegal ones out of the way and get some of the legal ones in the way, that might solve some of that problem. And that's basically all I have to say. Thank you.
Ms. Wilburn, just real quick, I'm sorry. You said the house across the street was at 207
Ellis Avenue,
Ellis?
Ellis.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yep, thank you.
any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
On your call, Madam President.
You may proceed. Thank you.
Certainly. Madam President, we move to reach the point of old business, and I will go through the docket as prepared. Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve the minutes for this meeting for May 24th, October 5th, September 19th, December 7th of 2023, as well as January 18th, 2024.
Yes, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from May 24th, 2023, October 5th, 2023, January 18th, wait a minute, September 19th, 2023, December 7th, 2023, and January 18th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
I'm sorry, that was moved by? Thank you.
Williams.
Got it. Second was?
Edwards.
Thank you very much. So moved in second. Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
I'm sorry, you said October 5th, regular meeting as well?
October 5th, correct?
So I do have, there is a correction that needs to be made on that one, so
Okay.
I need to not go with that or have it adjusted.
Moving on. Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams, and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. And Councilwoman Frisbee, if you would like to make me a note, I'm sure we can make the correction that is required.
Absolutely.
Certainly. And Madam President, now if you would like to ask for a motion to approve communications and petitions.
Council President?
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes, 2J had not been corrected, ma'am.
I have
I thought he
2J.
did correct it where he had petition in opposition.
Oh, that's the
That's
correction,
the
rather than
correction.
correct the wording, anything else.
Yes,
Okay,
that was
thank
the
you for-
correction.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. You may continue.
Certainly, Madam President, just looking for a motion to approve communications and petitions.
Yes, we have a motion to approve communications and petitions.
So moved.
Second.
Noted. Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes?
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. On to ordinances. Ordinance 24-7, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 14 of the Code of the City of Trenton, traffic four-way stop intersections as it applies to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Ingham Avenue. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time? Seeing none, Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve.
Yep. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Call the roll?
Certainly. Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes?
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance 24-8, capital ordinance, providing for improvements to the West State Street and Sanhegan Drive Improvement Project 11 by the City of Trenton in the County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,309,938 to pay for the cost thereof, which amount will be funded by a grant from the fiscal year 2024 municipal aid program received or expected to be received by the city from the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time? Seeing none, Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes?
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance 24-9, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 14 of the Code of the City of Trenton, traffic one-way street as it applies to Hale Avenue. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time? Seeing none, Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Call the
Noted.
roll.
Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance 24-10, an ordinance continuing certain positions, fixing salary ranges, therefore, and setting forth certain regulations for the implementation of same analyst trainee, assistant purchasing agent, senior purchasing agent, senior program development specialist, aging, and yard supervisor. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time? Seeing none, Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Noted. Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards.
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg, sorry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance 24-11, an ordinance to revise certain positions, fixing salary ranges, therefore, and setting forth certain regulations for the implementation of same, administrative secretary, employee benefit specialist, paralegal specialist, account clerk, senior account clerk, principal account clerk, management assistant, sanitary driver. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time?
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance 24-12, an ordinance amending and supplementing section 150-3 of the Trenton City Code relating to penalties for illegal dumping. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak to this ordinance at this time? Seeing none, Madam President, if you wish to ask for a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano. Thank you.
Yes. Get it right.
Mhm. My bad. Old habits die
Thank you.
hard.
All the time.
Anyway, she got me. Madam President Feliciano,
Yes.
we are on to consent
Yes,
agenda.
Let us move past all of that.
We are
Yes.
reached the point of
Thank you.
consent agenda.
Yes.
If you want to ask for a motion to approve a consent agenda consisting of resolutions 24-50, 51, 52, 53, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82.
May I have a motion to approve all of the resolutions that have been named by Mr. Garcia?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
On to roll call resolution. Roll call resolution 24-54, resolution adopting the settlement agreement between the City of Trenton Department of Water and Sewer and New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and settlement of an administrative order and the notice of civil administrative penalty assessment for the alleged air pollution control Air Pollution Control Act violations in total amount of $41,500.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. On to ordinances for first reading. We have an ordinance 24-15, ordinance regulating the keeping of certain animals and wildlife in the city of Trenton.
It's 14.
I believe that's a typo. My apologies. It looks like it should be 14 because 15 was what was removed Tuesday.
Right.
Thank you.
It was
And Madam President, if you want to ask for a motion to approve.
Yes, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. And Madam President, those are all the items I have at this time. We've reached the point of civic comment, and it
Thank
is
you.
your choice who you would like to start with.
Yes, thank you. Councilwoman Frisbee. Yeah, I worked it that way. but I'm coming this way this time.
So good evening, everyone. I don't have actually a lot tonight. There is just one that I wanted to reiterate, and that's with the, on, Fantasia. There's a new homeowners program that is going to be going on. If you are interested, if you have a need, know of anyone, there will be at Greater Mount Zion AME Church on March 2nd, which is next Saturday, from 12 p.m. I'm trying to read this small writing, 10 a.m. to 12. I will have a flyer put in the back again, but those of you who are interested, I have had actually 2 people call me about the program. So if you're interested, if you know of anyone and you want to get into your own home, please come see me. This is for first-time home buyers, and there is funds that are available to you. Also, I want to reiterate that the city has put into practice. If you put your, if it is snowing or anything otherwise, if you are not someone who is disabled, differently abled, and there's not a sign that is put outside of your home for a space to be reserved for you, if you put your belongings, chair, table, whatever you want to put out there, it will become the property of the city and then the sanitation department, because it will be trash. They will take it. So those who are online, those of you who are here, if you know of someone who does that, tell them that they are not allowed to reserve their parking spaces in that manner at all. Other than that, I have nothing. I want to remind, well, actually, no, I'll leave that for Councilman Harrison. The city's mission statement, which is to recognizing that the people of Trenton have made us guardians of the public trust. We are committed to govern with integrity and fiscal responsibility, to seek excellence in the city's operations, and to serve all the city's people with respect and compassion. And I did want to acknowledge Ms. Cordelia. One, it's good to see you back out here this evening. Always nice, it's always a treat to see you. Thank you again for the acknowledgement. I did make a commitment that I would have community town halls, and we did start that in December, and I wanted to keep my commitment with that. So thank you for the acknowledgement of that. To Mr. Steve Balducci, thank you for bringing it to our attention about the damages and all of that. It is not fair. And one, you're in uniform, so thank you for the service that you do for our country. I appreciate that, and I'm sure that we will have it at least looked into to see about getting that rectified. Ms. Diane Drayton, I'm not sure what to say about that. That's a tax issue. And the aggravation, no one should be aggravated while sitting in their home. No one should be harassed, especially after living there over 25 years. And I'm hopeful that our city will be able to do something to help come to some type of median where they can live peacefully and harmoniously with one another. And Ms. Leslie Wilburn, you're here constantly, so it's always good to see you in the building. And you had a lot of questions. Some of them, yes, there is a limit on the number of cannabis dispensaries that will be allowed here in the city. It is not regulated by the number of residents, whoever it is that is purchasing. They just have to be in compliance with our board. Those are, so everyone, there is a criteria that they have to go through. And I'll leave the rest, I'm not sure about the rent stabilization board, so I can't speak to that. But I do want to thank everybody for coming out here on this such a lovely evening. Enjoy the weather as it begins to change up a little bit for us, and enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend.
Councilwoman Edwards.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all as always. Thank you for being here with us this evening. I don't have many comments to say, but I want to say thank you to Mr. Wolski for the warm welcome you and your board gave me at yesterday's meeting. It was a pleasure to sit there and listen to one of the cannabis applicants that is trying to open a business in the city, Mo Weed, and what he has to say, or his business had to say about their plans. Thank you for allowing me to speak and, you know, being a part of the process as well. So I appreciate that. And as we move along, I'll be providing monthly or periodic updates to my council members on a, you know, as need basis whenever there's things transpiring with the board. I want to speak to the trucks being in a city. This is something that we have been complaining about for many years, ever since 129 was put in 29, and they drive down and they drive through the city to avoid tolls and what have you, and are tearing up our roads, our trees, and our vehicles, and a laundry list of other things that they damage in our city. And I think that we need to put up signs around. To Councilwoman Figueroa Kettenberg's point, these trucks are too large to be here, but when we were sitting here talking, I'm like, I don't think that we have signs prohibiting them from driving through our neighborhoods. So I would love to, or an ordinance, now that I'm being brought to my attention. So that's something that we're definitely going to work on. And those of us that will work with our South Ward representative on that and provide the support that she may need. This is definitely important all throughout the city to do. As far as the rent stabilization board, this is a hot topic that we have been bringing up for the last several months. Just about every council member has talked about it. The city is working on reenacting it. I do believe that there is a posting out looking for board members. So if there's anyone interested in being on the rent stabilization board, I would urge you to submit a resume and a letter of interest to the administration to express your interest. And any other board that we have with the city of Trenton, a letter of interest along with your resume, so you can express interest in being on the boards, because we do definitely need our residents to participate in this and making sure that we're providing efficient services and protecting the residents too, as landlords are definitely outpricing our people. As far as the dispensaries, 10 retail dispensaries are permissible at this time as per our ordinance. And there's no limitation on what side of the city. We just try to make sure we do our due diligence as council members to spread them out so that they're not all in one area. So, you know, so that it's fair and accessible for anyone who wants to partake. And if there's any other questions you may have about cannabis, feel free to reach out to me as well. I love questions. And that's all I have for this evening. Oh, and congratulations, Ms. Cordelia, on your appointment to the Trenton Housing Authority. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, everyone, for being present. Just brief, nothing too long tonight. One, thank you to the presenters. That was an excellent presentation. So thank you for that and for being so detailed and answering our questions. I just want to say congratulations to the Trenton Housing Authority for receiving the Choice Neighborhood Grant, which is a big deal. and will actually help improve our city in a huge way. So I'm looking forward to the outcome of that grant. Thank you, Ms. Staten. I always call her forever Councilwoman, for being present and always encouraging us. Mr. Steve, thank you also for sharing. Mr. Steven, thank you for your service and thank you for sharing your concerns and bringing that to our attention. Ms. Diane, I saw her leave out, and I wish she would have stayed because I wanted to encourage her to possibly apply or show interest in the Rent Stabilization Board. I believe that has been posted. Mr. Garcia, we finished the advertisement, so it is up and available, I think, today, tomorrow.
Yes, that will be available. It should be posting tomorrow. The Rent Stabilization Board is primarily mayoral appointments, and they were advertised independently.
Thank you.
You got it.
So anyone that is interested, please encourage others to show interest, as we need a collective, diverse group on that so that we can help our renters and make sure that things are fair for both landlords and renters. To Ms. Wilborn, thank you so much for sharing your concerns and bringing those issues to our attention. And I was going to say, that's it, a couple of announcements. We have February 24th, which is this Saturday, is the second annual African Mask Making Family Workshop, which will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's at the Trenton City Museum. Also, the 4 Centuries of African American Soldiers this weekend, which is also Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that's at the Old Barracks Museum. Also, to conclude our Black History Month, there will be a Black History program at Trenton Central High School on Thursday, February 29th. And also some HBCU alumni. We are hosting an after-work networking event, which is February 29th, and that will be at Cooper's Riverview from 4 to 9 p.m. All are welcome to attend, not just anyone who went to an HBCU, but it would be a nice time just to close out Black History Month. So all are welcome, and I believe that's it. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to my mentor, my coach, Miss Sharon Grady, who is going to be celebrating her retirement this weekend also. So I'm sure some of us will be present. And we just want to say congratulations to all of the years of service she has done to the students here in the city of Trenton. Thank you all for being present. Have a good evening.
Councilman Harrison.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank the wonderful job that Tig Brown did in the Super Bowl. He had one interception, almost had a second one. Was kind of hoping he was going to get the MVP, but they came close and they battled hard. So Tig, you represent this community and you do so much for these kids. You're a blessing to this city. Thank you so much. To Steve, he said, you're right, the neighbors are getting sick and tired of their vehicles getting hit. This needs to be addressed. And me and my colleague will be working on this to make sure this gets addressed. Also, I would like to thank Councilwoman Frisbee for helping with the resolution. We're going to be honoring Mr. McCray. He has the pantry on Stuyvesant. He's been helping feed people for many years. The city is blessed to have a man like Mr. McCray. And like I said, if you can, tomorrow morning at Hughes Funeral Home, 324 Bellevue Avenue, is the funeral for Mr. McCray. He's a wonderful man, and he has done so much good in this city. He has helped not only feed people, he's given coats and everything else in the community. So this city doesn't, I mean, we have a lot of great people, but Mr. McCray, very special man and dear to my heart. So thank you, Ms. Stanton, for always getting up there and having a positive message for the city, and for everybody else who comes in here and wants us to work together to move the city together. Thank you and have a blessed evening.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Council President. First, I just want to thank former Councilwoman Staten for joining us this evening. You have been very helpful to this council in getting us off to a good start when we first started, and it's always a blessing to see you here with us. I also want to say to, I don't know your rank, I apologize, Mr. Balducci. Thank you very much for serving our country currently. And then also to one of my constituents, Ms. Leslie Wilborn, thank you for your past service to our country. I have some announcements, some things I wanted to talk about briefly. As Ms. Drayton mentioned earlier, we have a lot of situations for our seniors where it's very difficult for them to hold on to their houses, particularly even though they're minimal amounts of money that they fall behind. I had a constituent approach me about that last night. And one of the things I think we need to figure out as a city, I know we're very, very, with another capital V, very cash strapped for tax money in the city. As was said earlier, there's a lot of taxes are being paid, but we need to figure out a way to keep our seniors in their houses. And I'd like to, I'm just going to say that I am going to bring to the administration, and I'd like to enlist my colleagues' efforts in the future to figure out ways that other municipalities, and there are some, and even states, that we can maybe figure out ways with taxes to maybe after a certain age, that a senior will not have their taxes raised upon them once they particularly are out of their prime working years. That's something I think we can look at, but we do need to make sure economically that it would work for our city. I just want to also, this came in this afternoon, it was mentioned earlier, but Councilwoman Figueroa Kettenberg, I want to thank you for your quick action on John Beach Park. As most people wouldn't know, I did not know that this past year, John Beach was a Medal of Honor winner in the Civil War. He is buried in our city, so it's an important park, an historic park, and a memorial to someone who did so much for our country. This afternoon, Councilwoman Gonzalez, Council President Feliciano, and I had a really good meeting with the mayor, Director Maria Richardson, and some of our senior health department staff about the grant school and what's going to happen regarding the lead soil remediation and what needs to have for testing. It was very positive. We, as a city, are looking to get the testing rolling in the coming weeks. We have good partners, we were told, at the state and New Jersey level. But I just want to make sure the citizens know that council is a key part of this, and we're going to be on top of making sure that things proceed forward and that information is provided. Went to the meeting last night. The grant school was an open meeting, and information is being provided by EPA and the key partners, but we have to make sure we hold their feet to the fire and all the right things are done, and I can assure you this council will do that. Just a couple more things. Regarding Rent Stabilization Board, I'd like to encourage, and not to put you on spot, Ms. Wilborn, if you would consider applying for that. I believe you'd apply to the mayor's office. I think you'd be an outstanding member. And we need outstanding people if we're going to turn this city around. And may I ask how much time I have left, ma'am? Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll be fast. Thank you and God bless for having us four-way stop at MLK and Ingham Avenue. It's going to be a huge improvement for safety. The one-way street on Howell Avenue, thank you so much for putting your trust and also never giving up, Ms. Wilborn. And then also for with Councilwoman Feliciano co-authoring with me the illegal dumping ordinance. Hopefully that will make a major difference. But we have to get cameras out there to capture people. And I think I might actually have time to everything. Yes, I did. So thank you very much for your patience, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Council Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be very brief. Again, Mr. Balducci, if you have a few moments to stay behind once we leave. Okay, I want to just show you some messages that I received, some conversations that I've had, and emails that have been sent about your issue going back to October. You know, sometimes these issues don't get resolved overnight or as fast as we'd like for them to be resolved. You know, there's street studies, traffic studies, you know, ordinances that need to be created and the like. But I would like to show you those things, just let you know I have been working on it and I have been receiving those complaints. Including and not limited to maybe creating a loading dock for that business or even specific delivery hours if they're going to allow those trucks, if we're not able to, you know, keep those trucks off those streets altogether, which was something we'd like to do. Okay. But thank you again for presenting and thank you for serving our country, as everybody else previously stated. Other than that, the only other thing that I have is please join myself and whomever else would like to be there on February 27th y 27 de febrero para celebración de la independencia de Dominicana, a celebration for Dominican Independence Day here in the atrium at City Hall. We did have one last year. I know we had one in years prior, but it was a great showing. Many people came out and spoke, and there's music and food and everything. So if you're not doing anything, please, from 3 to 6 p.m. on February 27th, join us in the atrium at City Hall for the celebration of Dominican independence. Thank you guys very much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for staying with us tonight, for being present for the meeting, and for any comments that were given to Mr. Balducci. I extend the same sentiment as my colleagues. Thank you so much for your service. To Ms. Wilburn, Mama Lit, we thank you for your service as well. Thank you. And thank you for coming to the forefront and being present and for caring and for not being quiet about the things that matter in our city. To Ms. Drayton, who she did leave, I do like what Councilwoman Williams said about looking at other municipalities and what they do when it comes to seniors. So I'd like to work with you on that as we work to figure that out. To that part about the seniors, I'm excited. We'll be accepting, well, there'll be appointments for the Senior Citizen Advisory Board. So we're excited about that. Looking forward to bring that forward as we work to move to help our senior citizens to hear their needs and their concerns about what it is they would like to have done. I think to Cordelia Staten, Evie, thank you for being present tonight. Thank you for shining a light on my colleagues, not being selfish. Thank you for that. And that's what it's all about. And that is an exemplary example of what teamwork looks like. So I'm blessed to be under your tutelage and your guidance as I continue to move forward to be the best that I could be as I serve with the council and I serve the city of Trenton and its residents. Change sometimes is hard, and I understand that, but change is here. We're moving in a different capacity. We're moving in a different level. We do have new leadership. Councilwoman Figueroa Kattenberg is the vice president, doing a phenomenal job working with me to help us work with the council. And just to let people know, we take it very serious, the work we do out in the streets, but the work that we do in here as well. We've looked to schedule meetings with each council person individually so that we could talk with them about what it is they'd like to see, how we can work together to make the city better. I am thankful to the council members that have sat and spoke with us, because that is a true testament of collaboration and efforts in moving the city forward. We shouldn't be divided. We need to be together. We don't have to be friends and love each other, but when it comes to handling the business of the city, we should be on one accord with that. So I do look forward to meeting with those that remain, that will meet with us as we push to move forward and do right things. We'll also be looking into the possibility of having a retreat for our council members, because that is important. As we sat and talked about it, excuse me, Councilwoman Figueroa, Council VP Figueroa Kattenberg and I, Councilwoman Edwards, we do believe that it is important that we do have a retreat where we can come together and talk and move, just be able to move forward. It shows growth, it shows maturity, right? It shows collaboration, and it shows effort to do things right and on one accord. And it is needed, because no one is perfect. We're all different in our own rights. We all move differently. We all think differently. But when we come together, as Councilman Harrison said, we all should be working together for the good of the city. I pledged myself that I would be doing that, and I will continue to do that. And I thank everyone for their support. I thank the council colleagues that support the movement. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for embracing the change. And thank you as we continue to journey forward together to help our city. Thank you all for coming. I bid you all farewell and good night. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kattenberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams, and Council President Feliciano. Motion carried, meeting adjourned.